Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show. Big-time podcast these days is my co-host. Open phones here as we talk about your life. He can do that, and I'll interject. And your money, I can do that, and sometimes he interjects. The phone number, 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Nathaniel's in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hi, Nathaniel. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely.
Our family's gotten a lot of benefits out of your baby step, so thank you. We're on baby step 2.
Way to go.
My question is, we have been dependent on our parents. I'm married. I have 3 children, but we've been dependent on our parents basically the whole time we've been married, about 5 years. We've recently come into a larger sum of money from the stimulus checks and tax refunds, stuff like that. And we've been trying to live independently from them and paying off our debts. Now, the question I'm wondering is, should I just take all the money we have, every dollar, put it on all our debt and get help now, or try to stave off their help as long as possible and be independent with the high probability that in about a year we're probably going to need to ask for help again?
Why do you need so much help, man? What is it about your life that you can't make it? Because you went from help from mom and dad to then you went from help from the government.
Right.
What's the problem?
So the main problem, there's a couple of things. My wife is chronically ill.
Okay.
She had a botched scoliosis surgery as a child and has a lot of chronic pain. So we spend a lot of money on physical therapists and rehabilitation and trying to figure that piece of the puzzle out.
Okay.
And so that takes up a lot of the money. And then it's been some, help ancillary to that. She has some dietary issues that help with her condition, with because she has some muscle elasticity and inflammation issues. So that runs up our bill a fair amount. And also I think there's been a couple imprudent career jumps that I had. I had from liberal arts degree to DC think tank to corporate philanthropy to teacher to now accountant. So there's that too. So trying to figure that out, and I think I probably made more jumps than I needed to. So that's why we've needed help in the past.
So what do you make?
I make about $57,000 a year.
Okay. And what do you spend on your wife's medical care?
Last month when we were doing our budget, May was our first budgeted month. It was probably over $500.
Okay.
And then we also had to pay for frenectomy for our infant, our 3rd child, and that was like $600 on top of that.
Yeah, but that's only a one-time thing. Your wife's is more chronic. Your wife's situation is more chronic, and so
yes.
And the food situation for your wife costs an extra how much?
I'd say we spent close to $2,500 on groceries this month.
That's an extraordinary amount of money. And you're talking to a guy that is so obnoxious about what I put in my body. We overspend at our house, and you have almost tripled what I spend.
Right.
Obnoxious to the point that my wife rolls her eyes at me.
Right.
Something isn't clicking here.
So you're just saying I need to reduce the food bill. I mean, and that's what we're doing right now we're trying to do the budget and making sure that that's true.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. A lot. Listen, number one, neither one of us are saying that we would not suggest that you don't take good care of your wife.
Right.
Ever. Okay.
Right.
However, sometimes when you're dealing with chronic pain and chronic issues, the emotions around that can sometimes justify a different level of stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're calling out.
Right. So I get what you guys are saying from my perspective.
So I mean, $500 a month did not scare me on medical. That's $6,000 a year. You've got a chronic situation. That's very possible. Okay. I can chew on. And I mean, making $57,000 a year plus picking up some OT here or there, or doing some other stuff, doing some tax returns or something. If you're an accountant, to pick up some extra money, we can handle that with 3 kids. You can make progress and live on $60,000 a year, and without your parents' help and without the government's help. Okay. Now the $2,500 food bill, though, something's really screwed up there. You're gonna have to fix that and still figure out a way to feed her food that does not cause her issues.
Okay. So it's really about just attacking the. So I guess then the other question is, like, to that point, is should it really just be really try not to get help from my parents?
I think it's ridiculous that you're getting help from your parents if you make $60,000 a year and have 3 kids.
Okay.
And I want you to flip the question around.
How much debt do you have?
Well, so I have about $56,000 in student debt. We paid off our credit card with the money that we got. But now I've been thinking about it. My wife has a loan that her parents said they would pay, but it's in her name that I do not know the amount of that. I'm guessing is about $20,000.
How much you owe on your cars?
Nothing. Our cars have been gifts.
Okay. Any other big debt you're leaving out of this discussion so far?
No, we're renting right now, but we're renting more in a more expensive place.
How much?
I would like $1,900.
A little rich. Okay. So let me tell you what's running through my head. I'll just share openly, and this is how I'm kind of making some of these judgment calls, and then you can go make them because you're obviously a sharp guy. Okay. You have 3 kids, and you make almost exactly the average household income in America. And the average household in America has 2.5 kids. So, I mean, you are like average, money-wise, okay? Mm-hmm. And so you ought to be able to live on that. That's what's running through my head. Now, you mix in there, you got some debt, which most people do, and we're going to help you get out of that, and you mix in there your wife's medical issues, and that puts an extra strain on it, but it does not break the camel's back. You need to get on top of this, and you guys need to cut your freaking lifestyles and stay out of restaurants, and you're not going on vacation until you get some of this stuff straightened up. But that's everybody. That's not just you.
Right. Yeah. We don't eat out just because my wife can't.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. But here's the thing. When you have this much physical pain in the family, chronic pain, it begins to affect all decision making.
And that's where I was going to aim to. We got like a sliver into his life where I'm going from job to job to job to job. Man, when home is hard and someone that you love is in pain and hurting, man, it's easy to go chasing happiness and joy at other places.
Well, and you're looking for the one thing.
That's right.
You're looking for a silver bullet.
Yeah.
If I could just get that one thing. Right. If I could just get that one thing.
I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that.
If I could just get that one thing. And that's a normal thing. And it's a type of desperation. And every time I get desperate, right after that, I'm stupid.
100% of the time.
And so, I think you settle in on this job. You look for some stuff you can do at home after everybody's asleep to add to it.
A lot of stuff.
And you make some extra money. And you tighten up this budget. And you begin to get your hands around the emotional parts of managing through this pain, as well as the financial parts. And it'll be the first time in your life, and it's time. Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. today. This is the Ramsey Show. Chris is in Omaha, Nebraska. Hi, Chris. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Gentlemen, how you doing today? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So a couple years ago, we had our second child, and during all the prenatal appointments and everything, some things got screwed up on their end, and we got billed for a $1,400 doctor bill. And we went round and round between insurance and the doctor. That apparently never got settled because we just got hit with collections agency for that $1,400. I talked to the lady at collections, tried to negotiate for a lower amount or something, and she said, no, we're not that kind of collections. You have to pay it all. So just looking for some guidance here.
I'm not that kind of girl. Yes, you are. Yes, you are that kind of girl. Oh my gosh, what a load of crap. Okay, so have you gone back to the doc yet?
Well, actually, we've since moved. That was when we lived in Texas. It's been a couple years.
They got phones there.
Okay.
You hadn't called the doctor's office yet and go, hey, butts, I'm getting a bill from you people.
That was part of the rigmarole between, hey, why isn't insurance covering this and why are we getting a bill? That was part of the whole rigmarole a couple of years ago.
Okay, well, let's lay a foundation here, all right? Sometimes, including you, people get the idea that because insurance is supposed to pay something, I don't legally owe it. You do. So you have a bill with the doctor for X number of thousands and thousands of dollars, and you owe 100% of that bill. You are liable for it. You're the consumer of that service. You owe the bill. You, however, purchased from a third party insurance that is supposed to pay some of the doctor bill that you owe. If they do not pay it, it does not remove you from liability. You owe the doctor bill. And so since insurance has not paid this, if it's a valid bill, you owe it. Now, what you can do is go back and chew their butt and go, why didn't you people run this through insurance properly? Which you've already done once. Why didn't they fix it then?
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you, why didn't they fix it then?
Oh, gotcha. So they said, well, we did run it through insurance properly, but the insurance didn't get the referral and the right paperwork in time. So then insurance said, well, we can't backdate it. So, we're not paying.
So the doctor did not submit it to the insurance company properly?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm chewing their butt and saying, guys, you need to write this off instead of holding me to it because you didn't do your job.
Okay.
And that's the conversation you should have had back then, and now you get to have now, and then you get to pull it back out of collections. Or you get on the dock and you finally go, okay, but you need to start with the premise, Chris, that you do owe the money legally.
Sure.
And you can't go before the judge if you get sued and go, well, insurance is supposed to pay it, because he's just going to laugh and go, insurance ain't my problem, dude. You have a contract with the doctor, the contract's broken because you didn't pay the bill. Now, however, the doctor's office, part of the service they're supposed to provide you, as well as labor and delivery, is to take care of insurance paperwork in the proper order. That way they get their freaking money. And since they didn't do that, I would challenge them that this is their problem. It's not legally their problem. It's morally and business-wise their problem. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, legally, if they don't file any paperwork, they can come after you for all of the bill. They can just throw up their hands and go, we're totally incompetent, we're not filing nothing, and we're going to own Chris. Okay? They can do that legally. But it's a horrible way to run a doctor's office. It's a bad practice management, and you're going to tell everybody you know not to go have your baby over there. So, I'm going to call the office administrator and have a discussion with them. I mean, calmly and kindly but firmly, and go, guys, this is on you. It was your lack of competence, and you should not be trying to bill us for something as you didn't file the insurance paperwork. Part of the service you provide, as well as labor and delivery, is to take care of filing the paperwork in proper and timely manner, and you did not do that. And now you turn it over to collections and have these bozos who says she's not a girl like that, and she is, coming after me. It's ridiculous. And so that's how you handle it. Now, at the end of the day, you're going to end up settling this with the doctor's office, hopefully for pennies on the dollar. So get ready to write a $500 check. Part of that's on you because you didn't settle this back when it was hot. Mm-hmm. When the deal's hot, when there's a problem, you can't just walk away and go, I wish it was okay. It's always going to come out of the closet later and get you.
I'm right in the middle of dealing with this exact same thing and with the bill, and it's frustrating, and you got to continue to make that phone call.
Well, here's a funny one. So Sharon was at Rachel's first book tour party, launch party. And I'm in the truck heading to the airport, and I get a call, and Sharon passed out. And so she just had, I don't know, blood iron or something. I mean, it's 5 years ago. And low iron or something, and was excited and everything or whatever. And so they load her up in an ambulance and take her to the doc, and I go down to the emergency room, see her. She's okay. She's embarrassed. She's like, I'm all right. Okay. So I never thought anything else about it again. So I start getting these phone calls for collection, for a bill in collections. Me.
Yeah.
Somebody's calling me, and I'm going, well, you got this is absolute bull crap. There's no possible way I have a bill out in collection. That's just ridiculous. And so I'm just hanging up on the guy, just whatever. I'm not even talking to him. And so finally the guy they're wearing me out. And so I turned it over. I gave it to our attorney, our staff, legal counsel here. I said, hey, man, call these guys and straighten this out. Tell them I'm getting ready to own me a little collection agency because I obviously do not owe an outstanding bill that's gone to collections. This is ridiculous. Well, he digs around, figure out it's an ambulance bill.
Oh, goodness.
I did owe the money. It was a $400 ambulance bill, and I never got a bill. Okay. They never billed me. They just jumped it in collections, and then this little idiot's calling me with a headset on, and this kind of stuff. So I did owe the bill. I ended up having to pay it, but I'm just ignoring the guy. And I wasn't because I just thought it was bogus.
But
you cannot ignore it. I even tried it. You cannot ignore it. It comes back, Chris.
And then they start tacking fees on it.
Well, they're trying. Yeah, that didn't work either.
I looked at them. I went to the emergency room on Christmas Day with a poison ivy. It's a whole other story.
No, I don't want to know about this story.
But listen.
How do you get poison ivy in the middle of winter? No, don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you. It's a way that only Deloney can.
Yeah.
But I looked him in the eye and said, if I pay you cash, can we shake hands and walk out? And their eyes lit up. You're going to pay us cash in a rural ER? Absolutely. What you got? And I told them a number. And I said, Dave, I looked at this human being. It was during COVID through an iPad. And I said, you promised me I don't owe you any more money. We're going to shake hands and walk out of here. And she said, absolutely. And I said, I'm asking you one more time, and you're recording this, right? And she said, yep. We shook hands. It was good. It was an obnoxious amount of money, but it's my own dumb fault for getting poison ivy in December. That's what I get. I went home, got a bill, and it was a big one, a big bill. And I said, what in the world? And they said, well, that was for the hospital. The doctor has a different charge. And I said, that's like me going to Burger King and getting a number 2 combo, and then 3 months later, the fry guy sends me a bill at my house. That's part of the package. I thought the doctor was the key part of the emergency room service. Evidently not. And so now I've got this. Do I want to lose sleep and go to war over $200?
Nope.
Or
nope.
Kind of I do, Dave.
Well, yeah, I do. I know you want to, but I'm just saying, do you want to? So I get the want to part, but man. Here's the thing. It turns out that you can be in the medical industry and be horrible at business practices and math.
Why?
Apparently. I mean, because they've survived that way for decades now. I mean, every one of you listening out there has a horror story with some stupid butt medical bill. Everybody does. I mean, I actually was auditing a customer who's about to go bankrupt one time, and they got charged $46 a piece for Advil. $46 per tablet. You can't make this crap up.
I love America.
This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Barry and Amber are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Welcome. Where do you live?
We live right here in Nashville.
Oh, Nashville. My gosh, we have a Nashville debt-free screen. We haven't had that in I don't know when. That's awesome. So you just drove from your neighborhood.
Yep.
We sure
Wow, very cool. So how much have you paid off?
It is just over $78,000.
Very cool. And your range of income how long did that take?
That's okay. We took 30 months.
All right. And your range of income during that 2.5 years?
Started at 95 and ended at 115.
Yep.
Very good. What do you guys do for a living?
I am a ERP director.
And I'm a substitute teacher at our local elementary school.
Cool. Which school?
Harpeth Valley Elementary.
Oh, yeah.
Hound Dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, hound dogs.
That's famous.
Yes.
The Harpeth Valley PTA.
I've
Yep.
There you
never
go.
heard of a school with that cool of a mascot. Go
Yeah.
hound dogs. I love it.
Well, Jenny C. Riley, there's a song if you were old enough. Old time country. But yeah, that's it. That's cool. Very cool, y'all.
Yeah.
I love it. So how much debt? The 78,000, what kind of debt was that?
So it was a mix, like most. We
Yep.
had medical that we started with, and then
Credit card.
auto and credit cards, and lastly, my student loan.
So you're kind of normal.
Very
Yep.
normal, yep.
How long you guys been married?
15 years.
15. They're looking at each other to confirm.
Just had this conversation.
Yeah.
Nobody's in trouble, but we're both checking. Okay.
You guys pulled that first consonant to make sure.
Yeah,
15.
15.
Yeah. Yep.
Same
Just to
number. Same
confirm.
number. That's
So,
fantastic.
what happened 2.5 years ago?
We had a bit of a breakdown.
Yep.
Yep. There was no more bank transfers on our credit cards that were available, and the money wasn't increasing like we, had hoped, and we had to make a change. So,
And
So
we
you
just
sat
got
down
tired.
and there wasn't too much month left at the end of the money.
yeah, it was pretty devastating.
Yeah, that's an emotional night.
It was. It
Yeah.
really was.
It was.
It was a very uncomfortable conversation that was ready to be had.
It's the ultimate oh crap moment. So it's been building
absolutely.
and building and building and building, and then you just kind of hit the wall and you go, uh-oh.
Yep.
Yeah, we went from a double income to one.
Oh.
And so that didn't help either. And we continued to live in our same pace.
Ah.
And, you can only go so far.
Yeah.
So,
Amber, when Dave just asked you that, you still remember that night like it was.
I do.
5 minutes ago. It's
I
still
do.
all over you.
Yep. He
Tell
was
us-
sitting on the bed.
Tell us what happened. Yeah.
And we had this conversation, and, basically what you said, like there wasn't enough money at the end of the month. And we had are you going to go back to work, like double our income? But daycare or childcare here in Nashville is exorbitant. And I said financially that wouldn't make sense. And so luckily they were at the age where they were both getting ready to be in school. And I said, well, I can start subbing. And I hit the ground running. And that, with a budget.
Yeah, the budget helped a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but you changed your ways that night.
Yes,
you did
we
more
did.
than just pick up a job. You said,
Yes.
okay. So what you I suddenly remembered Dave Ramsey lived in Nashville, or what happened? I mean,
I have been telling my husband about you for years.
uh-oh.
And I was doing the money. And I was like, well, if you don't want to do this, then you do the money.
Oh.
And he's like, I can do this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Until he couldn't. And I was like, see? It's tough.
It
So,
was tough.
yeah.
So then,
So then we
hit the-
continued for a couple of years. Just
no, I'm saying it that night sitting on the
Yeah.
bed, okay, I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah.
start subbing.
Yep.
And you said, all right, I'm going to figure out how to do this because the way we've been doing it's
yeah,
not working.
we
I mean-
enrolled in Financial Peace
Oh,
University.
there. Okay. That's what I was trying to figure out. Where you got new information that changed. That's
Yeah.
So you jumped into a financial peace class.
We did.
Okay.
We did. And then when that was finished, there she is, our lady, Lily. I ended up teaching one myself.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I wanted to stay accountable.
Yeah.
And so he watched the kids, and I went and taught the class. And 30 months later, we were done. 30
Wow.
long months.
Wow.
But
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Because you were popping like a couple grand a month on this.
We were.
Over $2,500 a month.
every
on it.
little bit we could get our
Yeah.
hands on.
Yeah, I mean, you were hitting it hard.
Yep. And we
Yep.
cut out a lot of stuff. We made
Yeah.
lifestyle changes to
Yeah.
not go out to eat.
Yep.
We did only just the basic travel.
Yeah. We told our friends, we'll see you when you come to our house, and we can cook you dinner, and we can spend time together. But Nashville for us, I think, was a blessing because we wouldn't have been able to do that back home. Like there's so much to do here that you don't need money for. And so we just started doing all that, and then COVID hit, and we literally couldn't go anywhere and spend money. So
Yeah.
That accelerates everything.
It
then,
really
yeah.
It did, yes.
As long as you're able to work.
Yes.
And you were. So
Yep.
that's good news. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So you go from your throat is tight, your stomach's in your throat. That moment, like you said, sitting on the bed.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's sitting at the kitchen table and there's
Yep.
bills laying all over the table.
Yep.
And you just kind of have a miniature breakdown there. And you go from that to having a game plan and having hope. How long did that transition take from freaked out to hopeful?
I would say it was in the first probably 3 months.
Yeah.
When we finished our FPU course, we had paid off one of our biggest credit cards that the intro rate was about to expire. And it was like just a few months into it, seeing like, we can do this. You know, we don't have to live miserably thinking we're okay anymore. And so, yeah, it took a few months, but you know, seeing that debt paid off and that payment rolled to the next one. We had an Excel sheet.
Yep.
And so seeing that snowball just get bigger and bigger and bigger was really motivating for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what does it feel like now?
We can breathe.
A lot less stress.
Yeah.
Um,
We dropped our car off this morning on our way here for some work. We don't know what's going on with it. And it's okay.
It's just
Yeah.
it's annoying, right?
It's annoying.
yeah, it's just
but
annoying.
we're going to pay for it out of our bank account and not have to worry about
where
not
it's
being,
coming
yeah, where is it coming from? It's not a thing anymore.
So Barry, what was it like? You're a successful guy. You've got a beautiful family.
Thank you.
What was it like having to look in the mirror with both hands on that armoire and say, I'm not making it?
It was scary because it was one of those things where, you know, I didn't want to have any issues. You know, I didn't want to have to deal with them. And I just thought that we could make it, you know, for so long. And then after a while, it just came to a point where we hit a wall.
Yeah.
And once that wall hit, it hit hard. And I knew we had to do something different. And I just remember her bringing up Dave a few years ago. And I said, you know what, let's try something different. Let's inject something new into our lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then go 110 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, the beautiful thing about being sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're ready to change your life.
Absolutely.
And you reached that point where you said, that's it, I've had it.
Yep.
Whatever we got to do. And you kind of have to surrender. It's like, what have we got to do? What do we got to do? And I've been there. Most people have been there in different areas of our lives, but certainly money's a big one. And the debt thing. Okay, I quit. I'm going to quit trying to figure this out by myself. What have I got to do?
Yeah.
Because what I've been doing sucks.
Yeah.
And man, you just reach that point, and it's not a matter of name calling or something. It's not a shaming thing. It's just a reality, and you're going, something just got to freaking change here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I think for us too, real quickly, was we actually went on your daughter's show.
Oh.
Like roughly the first few months that we had started. There she is. And I remember listening to the podcast some months later, and you had asked, someone had called in and they're like, I wonder what that couple from the Christmas show, if they stuck with that budget and how they're doing. And we were telling some people here too, I was like, if they call us, we gotta like be doing this. Like we can't have them call and say, so Jovers, what's the status? And we're like, yeah, we kind of fell off.
We quit halfway through. We're failures. Yeah, no, that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of accountability.
Yes.
Being on the Rachel Cruz show. Yeah,
Yes.
they'll put you on the spot. Well, way to go, you guys. You brought the kiddos.
Thank you.
What are their names and ages?
We have Jocelyn, who just turned 8 recently, and Jeffrey, who's about to turn 12.
Yep.
Great.
They're very nervous.
Very cool. They're going to do
They're gonna be
great. We got a copy of Legacy Journey for you. That's your next
Look at Jeffrey.
stage,
There you
and
guys are.
one of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away. So $78,000 paid off in 30 months, making
It's
95 to 115. Barry, Amber, Jeff, and Jocelyn. Count it down.
Ready?
Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Ready? 3, 2,
2,
1. We're debt free!
Yeah! That's why I come down here every day. Awesome!
So cool.
This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. You can join him on the Dr. John Deloney Show, which is a massively popular podcast produced by the Ramsey Networks here. Call in at 844-693-3291, 844-693-3291, or email, and Kelly will get back with you and set you up to be on the show. Email at askjohn@RamseySolutions.com. Ask John at RamseySolutions.com. Lindsay is with us. Lindsay's in Houston, Texas. Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
Hi, doing well. Excited to be on. Just a little bit nervous, but thank you for having me.
Well, we're honored to have you.
Good. Well, I completed FPU in 2017, and after doing so, I paid off my car. I've increased my savings and investments. I don't have any other debt, and I'm currently renting. I am going back to school to get my PhD, and my school will be completely paid for through grants and graduate assistantships. And I will also have a monthly stipend, but that means I'll be on a fixed income. So, and I'm also needing to move to the area in August. And so the rental rates are pretty high in College Station, so I'm looking at purchasing. My parents are offering, they're being extremely generous and offering to help me buy a house. They're actually also debt-free, and went there to see you in 2014 to do their debt-free screen.
Cool. So you're going to A&M to get a PhD in what?
Educational psychology.
And then what are you going to do?
I want to teach at the college level.
Where, at A&M?
I don't know.
How long does a PhD program take?
I'll be there for 3 years.
Don't buy a house.
Okay, that was my question. Okay.
Because listen, a PhD program, I don't know anything about it. I've only got one, and I've got a PhD in DUMB, but John's got a couple of them, and rumor is it that they're tough to get. It's a lot of work.
Yes, the jobs after.
No,
yes.
no,
the
getting of the degree, the whole process, the dissertation, the whole thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then being an educational psychologist, that's to get a tenure track job is going to be tough, and you know that walking into it. But the chances of you landing in College Station and working there after that degree are very, very small.
I don't want you concentrating on home ownership. I want you concentrating on the completion of the PhD and then quickly moving to the place that gives you a job.
That's right.
Okay. And that was my question, was with the short-term nature, if it was smart to buy or not.
Exactly. And it's college town.
That makes sense.
It's college town. And college towns, they're going to go through a metamorphosis in the next 5 years because people are not going to college like they used to.
Right.
And so it's going to affect real estate in a small town like College Station.
In a major way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have one other question. Should I stop? I know it sounds silly, but do I stop contributing to my Roth IRA since I'm going to be on such a fixed income, or do I try as best I can to continue that?
Your stipend, do you have to pay taxes on that? Is that considered earned income? Mm-hmm. It is?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Then you do have an earned income. You can do a Roth. You can only do a Roth, though, if you are guaranteed that you're not going to have any debt due to this education. Because I want you to invest in you before you invest in mutual funds.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I should not have. Everything should be covered because I'm technically working as well for the university, and that's paying for my school.
Yeah. And if that ended, what would you do?
If them paying for me ended, I would have to get another job. Yeah.
Okay, and so you'd find another way to pay for it. I don't mind if you stop your retirement temporarily and pile up cash to complete this education, and not that you're necessarily going to need the cash, but if you end up with $15,000 or $20,000 or $50,000 or whatever in a savings account when you come out, it's not going to kill you.
No, that's your house down payment.
Yeah.
Right, if whatever you're going to live, or you roll that over into your retirement once you get settled somewhere.
Yeah. That's the process.
Hey, but talk about you doing it right. That's an outstanding school. It's an outstanding program. One of my mentors graduated from that very program, from that very school. It is top notch, and you get
and when you can get a fellowship like that, and they pay you
that's what I'm saying. You get through that debt free. You've won.
That's the touchdown.
That's outstanding.
Touchdown Aggies.
Good for you.
Reggie is with us. Reggie's in Chattanooga. Hi, Reggie. How are you?
Hey, thank you, Dave, for taking my phone call.
Sure.
The question I have for you, sir, is your Vestor Pro, SmartVestor Pro. Went on your website, looked for some in my area, found a handful of them. One actually maybe not a mile away from me. What process do you use to find and endorse a SmartVestor Pro? And is there a number that I can call with your company if I choose to use a Vestor with you?
Okay, well, SmartVestor Pros don't work for us. They are independent financial advisors. We vet them, meaning we interview them and find out about them so that we feel good about endorsing them. Does that make sense?
Okay, got you.
And there's no one on there that we haven't spent extensive time vetting. However, they are humans and we are humans, and sometimes we screw that up, but not very often. We've been doing it a long time. I'm very proud to endorse the people that are SmartVestor Pros. And 99.9% of the time, we have zero issues with them. So then it is on you to say, okay, Dave Ramsey, the guy on the radio that I trust, has said this is a guy that he trusts, and I'm going to sit down and see if I share that trust. You don't blindly go off of anyone's endorsement ever on anything, but it's a good way to open a door. Just like if your friend says, hey, this is a good movie, and you go and the movie sucks, well, next time you don't take your friend's movie advice, right? But the same thing. So, or this guy, every book he's ever told me to read was a good book. So his book reading endorsement is worthless. You know, that we all got friends like that, and I'm just your friend that way. So you still sit down, use your own freaking brain, though, and you interview 2 or 3 of them for your own sake, and you decide, does this person share my values? I agree with everything Dave Ramsey says, and I'm following the baby steps, but this person doesn't seem to. I'm not going with that one, which, by the way, let us know that one, and we'll cancel that one because we want to endorse people that are going to tell you to do the stuff that we do here and be so that you get a consistent experience. Does that make sense?
It does. So that's one of the things I should see when I'm interviewing them, that they are actually going through your baby steps, correct?
They should know the stuff, and they should not recommend something to you that is opposite of what you're hearing here. But otherwise the endorsement wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't have integrity. Agreed?
Yes. I'm just trying to be sure of what I should be seeing and what I should be hearing.
Yeah. And you should be looking for someone that has the heart of a teacher. You should feel taught and coached, not slimed.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of sliming in the financial world, a lot of sales in this financial world. But if you feel like you got to go home and take a shower after you, don't use them.
And Reggie, I'll tell you this: it is, they are trained to expect that you're going to be shopping around. A close friend of mine who is a SmartVestor Pro that I didn't even know was a SmartVestor Pro until I started working here. I said, hey, I need some help. And he said, I'm going to walk you through how we do introductions, but at the end of it, you need to make sure you're comfortable with me. And we might be great friends and not so great mixing this part of it up, right? So I feel completely at ease to walk in and let them know, hey, I'm shopping around. I want to meet with a couple of advisors.
I'm interviewing 3 people, and I'm going to pick one of them.
They're not going to get their feelings hurt. They're going to bring you on. And
you should do that with a real estate endorsed local provider, too.
That's right.
You should do that. These are people that are going to be teaching you and coaching you and making suggestions about your freaking money. So, yeah, you need to be real comfortable with them and have interviewed more than one, and don't blindly follow anything. And so it always tickles me when someone writes us hate mail, says, I trusted you when you endorsed such and such and such and such heating and air company in Timbuktu. And I'm like, yeah, we checked them out. They were good folks. But you're also supposed to use your brain,
right?
In the process. And if you're getting slimed and you go, well, Dave said sliming is good. No, it's not. That's not what Dave says. It's just, but you're supposed to also be grown-ups. And I'm a grown-up when I take someone's endorsement. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I don't take their endorsement seriously because I don't think that much of that person. So, that we all do that, right? That's what you're supposed to do. So what we have here is trust, and we do our best to be worthy of your trust. But I can also promise you it is a freaking imperfect process. Oh, my God. James Childs is our producer. Kelly Daniel is our associate producer and phone screener. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host, and we'll be back. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. He has the Dr. John Deloney Show, where he talks about all kinds of things like anxiety, like boundaries, like relationship issues. Turns out psychology has a lot to do with life and money.
That's the rumor.
Because behavior and money, they're tied together.
Man.
And so that makes him valuable to have around here and answer your questions about what's going on in your life. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you want to join the Dr. John Deloney Show ever, you can send an email to askjohn@ramseysolutions.com. Jason's in Houston, Texas. Hey, Jason, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I run a wholesale trading business, and so I have to spend around $40,000 to $50,000 per month on inventory. And so right now, I know how you feel about this, but right now I put it on a credit card, and basically it gives me around $2,000 a month in cash back. And so what I do is I just basically live off of the cash back, and then all of my business income, I just invest it. And so I was trying to see what the pitfalls of this are, I guess. Yeah.
Well, these kinds of plans only work if everything goes perfect. If your sales go down 4 months in a row, you're freaking bankrupt.
Right, but I'm only buying
$40,000 a month is only what you're buying.
Right. No, I'm buying based on what my customers order from me. So it's like they order first, and then I just drop ship the item to them.
Yeah.
So
then why are you having to borrow money?
I'm not doing it to borrow money. I'm mainly just doing it because it's saving me $2,000 a month right now. That's
okay. So they pay you. They pay you, and you can use their money to do the drop ship. You don't need to do this.
Yeah.
Good. Don't do it anymore. You're playing with snakes, son. You're going to get bit.
Okay.
No millionaire ever said, I made all my money with cash back on credit cards. You're screwing around with rattlesnakes and like it's a sport. Your risk meter's broken.
Or here's a better way to think, Jason. What are they getting from you? No company just gives money away for fun. So why are they giving you $2,000 every month? What are they getting from you?
Right. And I guess that's my information that they get.
But they're also getting a long-term play with you.
They have their hooks in you, dude. Because you've normalized this in your spirit and in your process. Listen, here's the thing. Here's another example, okay? I used to, how old are you? 25?
19.
19, okay. When I was 22 years old, I started buying real estate with nothing down. And the rent I brought in was on each property was more than the payment. But I was in debt up to my eyeballs on the properties, and I did not perceive that as risk because the cash was flowing. Does that make sense? And here's what I do. That's called nothing down real estate. You buy real estate with nothing down. The bank finances 100% of it because you got a deal on it, and it's the same kind of line of thinking that you're using. And here's what I learned. 10 years later, I knew a whole bunch of guys that were 40 years old, 50 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old that were doing nothing down real estate. A decade later, let me tell you how many of them were not, how many of them were still doing real estate? Zero. We were all out of business because we were playing with snakes and we got bit. So here's a plan. You're obviously you obviously have a good business mind. Your risk meter is not functioning well. You are not perceiving the risk that you are taking. That's what I'm saying. And I didn't either. It is the beauty of youth, however. This is the same. I'm the same idiot that used to go over a piece of plywood on a bicycle that was propped up by 6 bricks, and with no bike helmet, and then wonder why you get all your teeth knocked out of your head. I'm the same guy. The beauty of youth is you do not perceive risk. And it just looked like fun.
Yes.
And it looked like, how could this go wrong?
It can only be more awesome.
It could only be better.
More bricks.
If we get 2,000 back, let's try twice as much. We'll get 4,000 back.
Well, so here's what I did.
So stop doing this, man. Go back to simple old people way of thinking and pay for your business as it goes. And then your business will survive up and down, and you will not get caught with the last man holding the beans and get your dadgum head taken off by these guys.
I want to lean into what you said about this being in your spirit, because I was a executive officer. I was a nerd in college, no surprise, and with the student government, and a year I was a treasurer. So I ran everything through my private credit card and accumulated the miles, and then I just got a check reimbursement every month. And it worked great. I got these miles over here, or whatever the things were back then, and it was no worse to wear. The school was always going to pay me back. It's when my transmission fell out of my 88 Tercel Easy hatchback, which was a dope car, by the way.
Easy hatchback was a dope car?
It was not. It was awful.
Okay. That was sarcasm.
It was like a big roller skate.
I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, it was a big roller skate.
Pregnant roller skate.
So I had this check for $500. It was supposed to go to pay this thing off.
Uh-oh.
But I'm holding this thing, and I literally need a transmission.
Yeah.
And thus started.
Well,
right?
This is what happens with a pyramid scheme.
That's right. I was floating this one to pay for this one to try to get this one.
It's financial Jenga.
And it always comes crashing down.
It's financial Jenga, but I'm the one that can beat it. Thus is the arrogance of youth, or just the arrogance, period. You don't have to be young to be arrogant, but it helps. And
mine caught me years later when I brought a human into the world, right? And it had piled and kicked and moved and punted and shifted, and we can roll it over here.
The debt, not the human.
That's right. That too. But at some point you pay the piper, and usually it just snowballs on you in the opposite direction.
Well, yeah, because you do get, I'll use one of your terms, a psychological term, satiated.
Yeah.
You get used to,
a way of living, a way of doing.
If you hit the curve at 120 instead of 35, you get used to hitting the curve at 120. Then when you hit it at 35, you feel like you're crawling. Like, who would do this? Because everybody knows you can make it at 120 until the tire blows.
That's right.
And then you figure out why the stupid thing had a sign up that said 35, not 120. And when you go rolling over the embankment,
or there's a little bit of rain,
and there's always these variables. And so it's the best way to get rich quick is get rich slow. It's the data proves it. That's the best way to do it. Because otherwise you have to do it over and over and over again. I know. This is The Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Well, summer's almost here, but that does not mean you can take a vacation from your goals because you're a grown-up. I know the motivation to stay intense can be struggling this time of year, especially when that beach trip is right in front of you. Don't do it. And all the fun stuff. Listen, you need to stay on track. You're a grown-up. You're not a child out for the summer, okay? I'm sorry, but if you live like no one else, later you can live and give like no one else. It's about getting the small wins that lead to big results over time. Then you can vacate any freaking where you want, anytime you want, and that's exactly what you do with Ramsey Plus. Not the vacate, but the small wins. Ramsey Plus membership gives you the best digital money courses, Financial Peace University, and the tools that you need to keep moving forward, like Every Dollar, it's a huge offering in there. Your goals are worth working for all year long. Stay motivated with a free trial. Ramsey Plus, text trial to 33789. It's a free trial. Text trial to 33789. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping. And with the new promos they run all the time, you save even more. Use the magic word, the promo code Ramsey, and you'll get a deal.
All right, today's question comes from Travis in Texas. My wife and I have a lot of resentment towards her family because they are not supportive of her. They didn't attend her college graduation, and at the last minute, they canceled being at the dinner where I asked my wife to marry me. Recently, we had a premature baby, which resulted in extended hospital stays, and her family never visited. This also happens around holidays and birthdays. My wife is more hurt than mad, but I hate the way they treat her. How do we move forward with her family? I think you move forward without her family. I think her family's sending you a lot of really clear signals that they don't want a lot to do with you guys. And everyone I know has struggled with this in some form or fashion, Dave, which is I had this picture of what I thought it was going to look like when I got married. And I thought our celebrations would look like this, and they always had 2 sets of grandparents there, and I always thought it would look like this, and then it turns out it doesn't happen that way. And I think at some point you have to call what is and decide, are we going to have a relationship on their terms, and are we going to move on with our lives, mourn it, be sad, be brokenhearted about it, and then start controlling what we can control in this deal? What do you think?
Well, that's probably one of the deepest hurts that's out there.
There is no deeper hurt.
And it is Travis, I wish I could tell you that it wasn't, that it was very uncommon, but it's not. It's more common than uncommon. What's uncommon is where everybody gets along.
Remember when I first met you, we talked about your kids, and you said, I'm friends with all of my in-laws. Mm-hmm. And I looked at you and said, I've heard that like twice in my life ever.
Yeah. Well,
right?
It's also a decision.
That's right. From both sets, right?
And it really, in our case, it wasn't hard because they're actually wonderful people and they're fun. And, Denise's husband's parents, Whittemore's, we go out for hamburgers with them without the kids. Right. We like them.
Yeah.
They're like friends, real friends. And so, but we made the decision to do that rather than go, why are they over there instead of over here? Mm-hmm. Why are you spending time with them? And Sunday afternoons, they're always over there. And, because that's what people do, is that bull crap.
Yep.
And no wonder, and so shut up,
Yeah.
Just don't be so dadgum needy.
But there's nothing.
But that's the thing, and that's what most people do is stuff like that. And something happened here, it sounds like they don't like Travis.
I was actually thinking they don't like you, man.
That's what it sounds like.
But who knows?
They don't approve of this marriage for some reason or another. That's what it looks like, and I don't know what that is. It could be something sick and bad, mm-hmm. Or it could be that. Whatever.
But one of the core principles.
But you can't make them, Travis. You can't make them happy.
No.
So all you can do is just love your wife and hug her because she's hurting, because the very people that she should be connected to for the rest of her life are not functional.
Have chosen not to connect with her.
They're not functional.
So one of the things I is a core principle of mine is behavior is a language, right? And so look at what they are telling you. Not with their mouth, but with their actions. With their actions. Y'all are not a priority to us. We don't really care a lot about this new little baby. That's cool. We don't want to spend time with y'all at holidays. We don't really want to show up at your graduation. These marker moments in your life, they are opting out of. They are telling you all you need to know about the status of this relationship. And so what y'all need to do is spend some time grieving it. It you said it hurts bad because she's going to want to know for the rest of her life, what did I do that my mom and dad didn't love me?
Or even if you know, they go, okay, I married Travis and they told me not to, and they told me they weren't going to have anything to do with it.
She made a choice.
And she said, yeah, but she never dreamed they'd follow through on it.
That's right. And they did. So you got to grieve it, and then you got to own what comes next, right?
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking, man. And then, hey, when you're married to this, provide some space for your wife to hurt every Christmas. And it may not be a big dramatic hurt, but understand that every year this is going to hurt again, right? That doesn't go away. It just is.
Every Mother's Day, every Father's Day.
It hurts, man. And so provide some space. Don't say things like, oh, you got to get over this. It hurts. It just stinks when your mom says, you know what, I'd rather sit on my couch than come see you.
And don't, and I also, I mean, you do what you want to do. I'm just being an old guy here talking, but I would say if she wants to reach out to them, that's fine. Don't tell her not to do that.
Absolutely not.
If she wants to send her mom flowers on Mother's Day, do
Every
it.
year.
But also help her remember to keep her expectations low. The secret to happiness is low expectations.
You are providing a gift because it's the right thing to do, and not because you're hoping for an ROI on it, right?
But there's not gonna, their track record. You should send your mom flowers, but their track record is you're not gonna hear from her.
And you should send flowers because it's right, and it's a way to honor her.
But don't be all upset when they don't call because they're probably not gonna call.
That's right.
So, but let's do it anyway.
You're gonna send a graduation card because it's the right respectful thing.
Right.
They're not gonna come.
Right.
Right. And if they do, what a bonus, what a gift. And if they don't, it's what we knew was headed this way. I hate that people live in this. This is so much more common than we know.
Yeah, I've got, I've often said sometimes the hardest stage of parenting is to parent adult kids.
Yeah.
Your kids as adults, because you don't get to parent them anymore.
Right.
They get to do what they want to do.
You just gotta love them.
And so you have to treat them like grown friends or something, and it's very weird and strange. And the number of friends that I have that are disconnected from their grown kids after they got married and something went sideways is astronomical.
So help me with this, Dave, because I've wrestled with this. Whose responsibility is it to mend that? Is it part of me says it's the parents?
Whose responsibility is it to mend any relationship? It cannot be one way.
That's right. Everybody.
Can't be one way.
Yeah.
You can go over men, and they look at you like
keep pulling the threads out.
And they keep shooting you in the face with a bazooka.
That's
then
right.
You can't mend that because that's just neediness and enabling, right? And codependency out your ears.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if anybody does throw a rope over the fence, grab a hold of it, and let's see if we can pull together.
I have sat with a lot of people who had loved ones pass away. I've never, ever heard somebody say, we just told each other we loved each other too much. I said I was sorry too much. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I've only ever heard, man, I should have called.
But if they just look at you and go, you're an idiot, and, I don't want anything to do with you.
Move on with your life.
Screw you.
Yeah.
I don't care how many times you say you're sorry. I don't care how many times you say I love you. I don't care how many times you call me. I don't care what you do. You're just,
You're out of my life.
Hello. That's like, she said she doesn't want to go out with you, son. You're a stalker.
There you go. So quit walking into traffic and getting run over. Right. At some point, you're doing that to yourself, right?
Yeah. And it's weird when it's, in his case, or her case, her parents. Yeah. That's what's, you would think they would be the grown-ups. But they're often not. A lot of times they don't have the emotional tools to. Right. Who knows how screwed up they were from the generation before?
Right. They may have to be doing the best they can with what they got.
I don't know. I mean, you're dealing with messed up human beings for sure.
And what Travis can control here is his dignity. Continue to treat them with honor and move on with your life, man.
Yes, that's very important to not.
Don't start throwing rocks
angry
back.
As you are at them for hurting your wife that you love, you still need to not condone their behavior, but honor their position.
Fire plus fire ends up in bodies almost every bit of the time.
Yeah, it doesn't do any good, even though it's really, really tempting.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Thanks for the question, man. Sorry.
It's a solid one.
Heartbreaking.
It's a solid one. It's everywhere, though, brother. And I wish it wasn't at your place.
Grieve it. Move on, man.
This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today here on The Ramsey Show. Open phones at 888-825-5225. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Kevin and Lydia are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, we are psyched, Dave.
We're
awesome.
good.
So good to have you guys.
Thank you.
Honored to have you. Where do you live?
We are from just south of Knoxville in a little town called Maryville, Tennessee.
No.
Yes, sir.
Merville.
Did you know I was born in Maryville?
We absolutely did.
I love Maryville.
Do they have a billboard out there, Homa?
No, they don't.
Well,
Maryville is a wonderful town. If you're a Yankee, it's Maryville, but it's Maryville.
Trust me.
And so
I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah. Way to go, guys. Well, it's an honor to have you guys. So how much debt did you pay off?
We paid off $215,000.
Love it. And how long did this take you?
About 6 years.
Okay. And your range of income during that time?
Starting was $80,000. Ending was $125,000.
Wow. Look at you. Way to go, guys. So I'm going to guess that you paid off your house.
We absolutely did.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at weird people.
Absolutely.
No house payment or anything. How old are you two?
Mid-30s. I'm 37. Kevin's 35.
And you have a paid-for house.
Yes,
What's
yes,
this
sir.
house worth?
Ooh.
About 320.
Wow. Look at you.
Yeah.
I love it. That is so freaking cool. And right on track. I mean, you fit all the numbers that we typically see. Very well done. So tell us a story. What in the world happened?
Well, you know what? The story started in Maryville. You were the commencement speaker at our alma mater in 2009.
So you went to Maryville College?
We went to
both
Maryville
did.
College.
I did.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And
I got an honorary doctorate.
You do?
I'm an honorary something or other. I don't know
Dr.
what it
Deloney,
is.
this is Dr. Ramsey over
Yeah,
here.
who
right?
knew that?
Trust me, he's going to make us all start calling
I got
him
the little
now.
tassels stored somewhere.
Really cool, Kevin and Lydia.
But that was pretty cool because my great-grandmother started the drama department there.
Wow.
And back in '06, I believe it was, something like that. And my grandmother graduated from there. My aunt, both my aunts graduated from there. And man, it's like a whole family week there.
Awesome.
So it was so cool to get to do that. It was quite an honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So you went to the school and lived in this town both.
Yeah. I was born in Maryville, but I was raised in a small town called Von Orr, just
Yeah?
about 25 minutes down the road.
No way.
Yeah. And you know what? She was, Lydia was your ASL interpreter. She's an American Sign Language interpreter. And I was the guy in the crowd with my arms crossed saying, "What's the deal about this guy anyway?" You probably remember me. No. And the next day we had a road trip planned and we listened to, at the time, it was a new concept, this digital audio book that we download, and we listened to it all the way to our trip and all the way back. And at that time, 15 months later, we paid off about $30,000 in student debt. And yeah, so we've been debt free ever since. But a few years later, we find the house that we want to raise our family in, and we absolutely just killed it. And
That's so fun.
we paid off that house 24 years sooner than the bank wanted us to. That's how we like to say that.
Way to go. That's so cool. That is so cool. So the Total Money Makeover with a digital download stays on the road with you, huh?
Absolutely.
Man, back that probably took a while to download back then. You know?
It did.
That's
Yeah, on
amazing.
a little iPod Touch.
Yeah.
Playing on a cassette adapter. Yeah.
That is so fun. Yeah, we had that thing on CD for a while, and then of course when everything went to MP3, it was awesome, and we were able to shift it. That's so cool, y'all. Fun. So what are your degrees in?
My degree is in American Sign Language Interpreting.
Of course.
Yeah, and I'm a teacher. I'm an educator, but I work for a tech company now in their professional learning space.
Oh, that's neat. Very good. Yeah. Good for you guys. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, Dave.
Excellent. How's it feel to not have a payment in the world?
You know, it feels great. And I mean, our goal this whole time was getting to that baby step 7, because that really starts us out on the next chapter of our lives. And that is, you know, we always like to share with folks, but in the Bible, we see God working through 3 institutions or 3 human institutions, and that's fatherhood, marriage, and adoption. And so we wanted to adopt, and we want to help others adopt. And so starting this Friday, we're going to have a couple of new kids entering to our lives, and we fully intend to adopt them. And our vision is after that, we would love to just write a check every year for someone in our church to also do the same.
Wow.
So they can adopt as well.
That is very cool. And you don't have any payments.
Yes.
Which means you can actually do this.
Yes.
This is not a pipe dream. You've actually mathematically figured out this is doable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's easier to help people when you aren't broke.
That's right.
You know,
yeah.
What a neat idea. I mean, people are like, everybody's got a lot of good intentions, but they don't do nothing to get themselves in a position to be generous like you are. I love it, man.
And then you see the people in your church that can write a check to help out, and you think, well, that person must be a fill in the blank, own some huge business or something. Nope, it's 2 really dedicated teachers that decided way back in the day we're just going to live our lives differently.
And 6 years ago, we're going to pay off our house.
That's incredible.
Our house!
It's incredible.
I love it. All right. Who are your biggest cheerleaders?
You know,
outside the 2 of you.
Yeah, you know, we have our parents here, both sets represented here, and you know,
I love it.
It was my mom in the mid '90s who I saw as a kid just paying off her house before it was cool, right? I mean, she just absolutely paid it off early, and that really inspired me. We saw that it gave her so much freedom to just pour out on her grandkids and to her kids, and even as a teenager, I was just sitting there thinking, I want that. As well.
Yeah.
But so they've just been great cheerleaders for us.
Great. Awesomeness. So what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is? You guys are professionals. You've done it.
Yeah, so I would say the key is really being on the same page. Whatever you have to do, I don't think there's any way we could have done this if one of us was dragging the other in either direction.
Not for 6 years.
So whatever it takes to figure out financially how you can make this happen.
Right. And Dave, I will always say that my key, she is standing right here because I might have been the Philip Fulmer on the sideline with the playbook, you know, drawing up the plays and the spreadsheets and all that, but she was the Peyton Manning on the field doing 95% of the purchases in our family and ensuring that we're staying on track. And she she's always been the type, she loves composting. She loves to see nasty things getting shrunk down smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's exactly what she did with this debt as well. Like, she was the one who said, can I press the button? Let me click the button to make that number get smaller and smaller and smaller and so now it's 0, and we are so grateful for that.
We'll get the kiddos into the shot. Their names and ages are what?
Yes, so we have Sophia is our oldest. She's 10. This is Benjamin. He is 8. This is Elliot right here, who's 5, and Gideon, who's 3.
All right, and 2 more coming next week.
Yes, sir.
More on Saturday. Yes, sir.
Yeah, they will be 12 and 10.
All right. Wow, very, very cool. Well, congratulations, you guys. We are so very proud of you. We've got a copy of the Legacy Journey for you because you've put yourself in a position to be a legacy and live a legacy. It's beautiful. It's a great, great picture of winning. It's absolutely amazing. I'm so proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Very, very well done. Also, a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away and pay it forward, and we appreciate you. 6 years. 6 years. Was it worth it?
Absolutely.
100%. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Looking at you right there, it's worth it. It was worth me getting up and coming down here today to get to meet y'all.
Yeah, me too.
Pretty incredible.
I love looking at the lineage between a speech given 9 years ago is going to impact the lives of a 12 and 10-year-old.
2 adopted tomorrow.
Good grief.
Man, I'm about to cry.
Look how that
All right,
works.
y'all count it down. I love it. $215,000 paid off in 6 years, making 80 to 125. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
To God alone be the glory. 3, 2, 1. We're debt free!
Yeah! Man, that is amazing.
You never know.
You never know. This is the Ramsey Show. Homeowners insurance can be one of those set it and forget it kind of things. When you first bought your house, you may have gone with whatever coverage your lender suggested at the time. Never thought about it again. But just because checking up on your insurance is easy to forget doesn't mean you can afford to forget it. Smart homeowners shop coverage every 2 to 3 years and make sure they have the best coverage for the best price. You also want to make sure you have the right amount of coverage on your home because it's gone up in value and you might be underinsured. If it's been a while since you checked your insurance, talk to one of our endorsed local provider insurance agents. They're independent agents. They'll shop among a bazillion different companies, get you the best possible deal. Text HOME to 33789 and talk with a trusted insurance professional about the right coverage for you. Text HOME to 33789. Sarah's in Columbus, Ohio. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So a year ago, my mom passed away, and my dad asked me for help. She left a huge financial disaster, which shocked everybody. And so I've been helping him over the last year, and we've paid off $36,000 in consumer debt, car loan, and credit cards.
Good.
And then he has a house payment. He owes $21,800 on the house, and he has about $60,000 in a 401k. And his budget monthly is really tight. I have $94 at the end of the month left over. And I was thinking about pulling money out of the 401k to pay the house off to free up more money monthly because there's a $400 dental bill.
How old is he?
83.
Yes.
Okay. Yes,
now,
that's what I wanted to hear.
let me kind of walk through how I got there so that you can decide if you agree with the advice I gave you. Okay. Mm-hmm. But the reason yes is this: $60,000 is not enough to fix his problems any more than $40,000 is.
Right.
His nest egg is not big enough. You've got other issues. Because it's not $600,000 or it's not $300,000. You follow me? The difference of the impact that 40 will make on his life being in the 401k versus 60 will make on his life, the difference is not measurable. It's so small.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? In other words, if you told me he had 40 or he had 60, it wouldn't matter. He still just doesn't have enough. It's just short, right? And you've done everything else. You've scratched and clawed and gotten this other mess cleaned up. Good for you. You're really doing a great job helping him. Thank you for doing that. And you're not really pulling money out of this 401k to live on either, are you? He's not.
Right, no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And so not pulling money out of 60 or not pulling money out of 40 versus not having a house payment at 82, get rid of the house payment. That's how I did that.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Hey,
thank you.
Thank you for calling. Ouch.
Yeah, that hurts, man.
So, if you're 20-something and you're listening to the show right now, that 82-year-old guy is supposed to inspire you to get your crap together so you don't end up there. Because $100 a month invested from age 25 to age 65 is $1,176,000. $1 million you will have if you invest $100 between now and 65. 20 years later, you'll be that guy.
And that should also inspire every young couple out there to talk to one another so that when one of you passes away, which they will, there's not a surprise.
Yeah. One of you handles all the money and that one dies. The other one is not only broke, but they're clueless.
Right.
And scared.
And terrified.
And
then
thank
they find
goodness
out,
Sarah was there to step in and help. But both of you working the plan together, working your money together, knowing what's going on. I mean, in our situation, it's gotten so freaking out of control and complicated. We have this huge family meeting that includes the leaders of the company here once a year. If Dave dies this year, here's how it's going to go down. And we go
you should
through
sell tickets to
this
that meeting.
and this and this and this. It's rather entertaining unless you're me.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. There's some people.
It's my Monty Python meeting. I'm feeling much better. It's just a flesh wound. But yeah, I'm not dying. But yeah, I mean, we plan it out because I don't want that to happen because this is complicated for my kids to be overwhelmed or their mom to be overwhelmed and so forth. And it's a lot of moving parts. And so it's really everybody needs to know. That's a really good point, John. All right, Abby is with us, and let's see here. Abby is in San Francisco. Hi, Abby.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dr. Dolan. How's it going?
Great. How can we help?
Yeah, so I just wrote down one question that I had, and I would love to get your opinion on it. And I would like you to answer it as though I was your son, and you wanted me to, and you were coaching me like that.
That's how I answer them.
All right, awesome. But before I started, I just wanted to mention, Dr. D, I love your show. I love the Rocket Diary stickers and horse lasses stuff. Keep it going. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, thank you.
So I'm on baby step number 3, and my safety net is $50,000, and I will get there by the end of the year. My partner and I are moving towards fiancé status. So if we get married, our combined income will be $210,000 per year pre-tax. She's having a hard time understanding why credit cards are bad and why I would like not to have credit cards in my future family. She wants to keep a credit card around in the off chance that we go through our emergency fund for any reason and her parents get sick, and she really wants to go visit them. So if I was your son, how would you address this problem with my fiancée girlfriend if she's unwilling to draw a line with their family? And kind of basically told me, I'll do whatever I need to do in order to take care of my extended family, even if it means putting my future family in debt, stuff like that. And I just wanted to ask if Dr. Deloney could speak about how
what is her cultural heritage?
We're both Indian, so it's like we always take care of our family and all that stuff, and I'm fine with that. But I'm just trying to understand, if Dr. Deloney had this issue, how would he deal with it? How would he convince his wife to go against the norm as well?
Let's talk about the money part first.
Well, the thing is this, where someone says, if it bankrupts my current family because of cultural norms, I'm willing to do that to take care of my extended family.
I don't necessarily believe that flex. That sounds like somebody trying to let you know before we get married that my family is everything to me. And if someone's truly saying that, then that's somebody that I'm going to be apprehensive about tying myself to, because they're telling me up front,
you're not as important as they are.
You are the least important person in my life, right? Yeah. Of those I love, you're at the bottom, right? And if our kids come along, they're going to be at the bottom too. It also sounds like a grandiose statement that somebody who's not yet engaged, not yet married makes. I'm going to do this and this and this. Well, congratulations. You know you're not, right? You've never held your baby, right? But I think it comes back. There's a level of fear that she sounds like she has. And
yeah, she addressed that with me as well. She said, you're asking me to do all these things, but we're not married, so I'm fearful that if you break up, then I'll be stuck in a situation where I'm not totally aware of how to handle it. So I'm fine with that. But I'm just thinking, if we do get married,
in order for you to get married, you need to be in agreement.
That's exactly right.
Whatever the agreement is, you need to be in agreement, because not thinking you're going to change someone after marriage, either one of you, is a bad plan.
That's right.
But now, so here's the thing. From a reality standpoint, a mathematics standpoint, if you make $210,000 a year and you have $70,000 in your emergency fund, and you still need a credit card as a backup for a potential emergency, that is not a mathematical fact. That's a psychosis.
Right. That's mythology.
That's a ridiculous fear that is not based in reality.
Right.
And so that's silly.
Yes.
Is what that comes down to. So that's screaming that I've got other kinds of insecurities going on that we need to understand.
And sometimes that is a child is told their whole life, you will have a credit card for emergencies, have a credit card for emergencies.
And you will take care of me.
And it's just a matter of looking down at the math, right?
And no matter what happens, you will take care of me.
That's right. Yeah.
They're told that too.
Absolutely they are. So I think you got to get on the same page, man, and start way at the beginning and addressing the fears that she's bringing into this relationship.
Yeah. And you can't really expect her to do things, that's exactly what we would do. Hope that helps. Feels a little vague, but I hope it helps.
Sorry, man.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Subscribe or follow today wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Couple of show notes around here I want you guys to check on. I'm working on a project called Baby Steps Millionaires. People that have become everyday millionaires by following the baby steps. And there's a bazillion of you out there because I've been doing this for a long, long time. If that is you, get in touch with Kelly and let her know you're there for one of our Millionaire Theme Hours. And if you feel so inclined, do a little brief version of your story on Facebook or Instagram and put it out there and just talk about, I became a millionaire because we followed the steps that the folks at Ramsey teach. I'm a baby steps millionaire. And I've met tens of thousands of you over the years, but I've never really quantified it and I've never really publicized it. But it's a good thing for the world of social media to hear that you can become wealthy if you do the stuff that we teach, which is very basic common sense. I don't teach you anything that's rocket science, and we don't teach you anything that's rocket science. But we're here to, what we have done is we show up every day for 30 years encouraging you to do it. And you already knew it. You have to live on less than you make, a concept Congress can't grasp. I mean, you already knew what to do. And here's a fun one, John. Credit card debt keeps falling. And here's a sad note. Banks are on edge.
Dave, I've got a Kleenex if you need one.
I have a tear. Banks are on edge. The banks are on edge. Americans are paying down. This is Wall Street Journal. Americans are paying down their credit card debt at levels not seen in years. That is good news for everyone but credit card issuers. Large card issuers that cater to borrowers ranging from the affluent to the subprime say the overall card balances and thus the firm's interest incomes are falling. To make up for it, issuers are spending more on marketing and they're loosening their underwriting standards. which means that you don't even have to be alive now, and they will issue you a credit card. They don't have underwriting standards. They just give everybody a card. Discover said its earnings call last month that the share of card balances that were paid off at the end of the first quarter was the highest level since the year 2000. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Money! Said that nearly half of the credit card balances it had at the beginning of March were paid off by the end of the month.
Wow.
Card balances at 3 companies, including Synchrony, I can't even say that, which is the largest issuer of store credit cards in the U.S. The 3 companies say they're down 9%, 17%, and 7% in the first quarter of the year perspective. Card issuers rely on growing card usage and balances for their revenue. They're wondering if the pandemic trends will turn into a long-term shift. We are very focused on returning to growing loans.
I love this next line. Delinquencies can't get much lower than where they are. We can't beat people up anymore, or otherwise our loans keep shrinking, your revenues come down.
Margins will get worse.
If people don't keep on screwing up, we're going to make less money, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, how can we, and I love going back to this marketing and loosening. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to start getting these emails and cards in the mail saying, hey, we miss you guys.
Yep.
Here's some more money you can just go spend. Hey, Dave, what happens if America collectively said, whoa, we got our bell rung, and we said,
I don't want to be the little pig in the straw house anymore. I'm going to get my crap together. I'm going to get out of debt and have an emergency fund. I'm going to be the little pig in the brick house, so when the wolf comes and blows, I don't have credit card debt. I don't have student loan debt. I don't have car payments. I'm under control, and I got a pile of money. You know what would happen? Discover would be up a creek. The economy would collapse. No, it wouldn't. The economy would boom. Let me ask you this. If you get completely out of debt, thus you have your entire income to work with, and you have money saved for emergencies and saved to buy things, do people then spend less over the next decade following that, or more?
I know in my life, we've spent more.
You spend more.
The house I bought was more.
Because you're affluent. You have money. You spend. So this idea that debt drives the economy is not true. Now, consumption does drive the economy, but consumption increases when people aren't broke. So the idea that getting rid of debt in America and getting rid of this burden on the back of everyone is somehow going to cause the American capitalistic system to completely fail is asinine. Because the reality is when people get out of debt and have money, they spend more money. Now, they spend it differently,
right,
more intentionally, more wisely, but it's not less dollars being spent on big screens.
You get nicer big screen,
it's
right?
more dollars being spent on the equivalent of whatever the consumption is because you've got the money.
Yep.
I mean, think about it. If you have to really think about the big screen and Best Buy has to approve you for 90 days, same as cash, and you have to go through an entire portfolio of paperwork just to walk out with your big screen.
You shouldn't be buying the big screen.
Well, you shouldn't be buying it. But let's say if you have to go that versus you go, I want one of those. No, I think I'll take 2.
And y'all just deliver it to me.
And here's the money.
Yeah.
Now, who spends more? Right. I mean, no, really. I mean, you're not being crazy.
Right.
But the truth is that I make a lot more money and have a lot more money than I used to have, and I spend a lot more money than I used to spend.
Right.
Well, no duh. So this is the most wonderful news in the world, and I wish I could take credit for it, but we're not a big enough deal to take credit for it. We're a big deal, but we're not a big enough deal to shift the whole economy yet. But one of my goals in life is to get Americans to start treating the credit card like it's the financial cigarette. And we are on track, baby. But the pandemic came along and helped me with my goals. Because it woke a bunch of you people up. It slapped the silly out of some of you.
I think that, again, my friends make fun of me for being overly optimistic all the time. But I think that by and large, people are good. And I think by and large, people, when backed into a corner, go, oh, okay. And my hope here is that everyone got their bell rung Nothing can happen to us. We'd forgotten 9/11, and before that, it had been years.
Forgotten 2008.
Right, and everyone realized, oh, this can go away overnight.
But this, this can be a segment of America. This could be their emotional Great Depression.
Yes.
Their never again moment.
That's right.
And hopefully, and that's really what this article goes on to say is happening. And all we're going to do around here at Ramsey is just throw gas on that fire, baby.
Absolutely.
Discover cards having a hard time.
Be ready for the credit cards to pretend that they're your friends.
Capital One is struggling. Oh no, I can't bear it.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
This is your last week to shop our famous $10 sale. Learn how to make faster progress with your money and your life when you check out these life-changing books. You can save up to 60% on over 40 best-selling books and budgeting tools like the Total Money Makeover or Dr. John Deloney's new quick read, Redefining Anxiety, which is a national bestseller. Plus, these make great gifts. Now, we've had Ramsey books, 40 of them on the bestseller list, and they're $10 each. And you mix and match. You can get a half a case. You can get a case. People buy the Total Money Makeover by the case. They buy Deloney's Redefining Anxiety by the case and give them out. The Ramsey team loves giving all this stuff away for half cost. We're also doing a Memorial Day sale this weekend where you can get up to 71% off kids' products and bundles. Check out all these deals, the $10 sale, the Memorial Day sale, all at the online store at RamseySolutions.com before the sales end. That will be now. Get this done. Go to RamseySolutions.com and check out the store. All kinds of fun stuff going on. Seth is with us. Seth is in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Hi, Seth. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Good deal. Well, first off, my wife and I, we are newly debt-free, newly as in Monday, debt-free.
Way to go! Good for you!
Yes, thank you. It's been we've been scratching and clawing like a third monkey on Noah's Ark, trying to get out and get our head back above water where we need to be, and we finally done it.
I have not heard that one. That is fabulous.
That's the most Arkansas thing I've heard since the last time I was in Arkansas. Well
that
done,
is so great. I'm gonna steal that one. I'm gonna steal it. That's a good one.
Go ahead. I have a question about PMI.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have it? Is that something that everybody has if you don't do X amount down? Does it fall off on its own? That's, if we do have it, does it come off on its own? Mm-hmm. Do they ever drop it? Do I have to request them to drop it? Explain PMI to me so I can get my brain around it.
Okay. Well, with a conventional loan, a Fannie Mae loan, if you put down 20% or more on the property, there is not PMI, private mortgage insurance. And for those of you that don't know what Seth's talking about, private mortgage insurance does not insure you. It insures the mortgage company. You buy insurance for them so that if they have to foreclose and they lose money on the deal, the private mortgage insurance company writes them a check. It is foreclosure insurance that they make you buy because you didn't put enough down payment to protect them. That's what it amounts to. And so the concept is valid, but it's not something that's fun to pay because you get zero benefit from it. And the mortgage company, you're buying insurance to protect your mortgage company from you, is what it amounts to. So PMI is 80% loan to value on a Fannie Mae, a traditional conventional loan. They generally will drop it, but many times forget. And so if you get down to 80% of the original amount borrowed or the original purchase price, and they haven't dropped it, I would lean on them. Many times you can contact them, and if you're willing to purchase an appraisal that by an approved company that they do, which costs you $400 or $500, that mortgage company approves of, and it shows that the property has a 20% equity loan or 80% loan to value, then they will drop the PMI. They have to drop it when it gets down to 80-20 if you request it of the original amount. But for instance, you could pay down the mortgage or the value of the house go up, and you could get your 20% equity in there and get rid of it on that. With FHA, it's technically called MIP, mortgage insurance premium, and it doesn't go away ever. As long as you have an FHA loan, you have MIP. And with VA, it's built in. It's not technically there, but it's built into their system. So you're paying for it in both of those, either way. So sometimes the way to get rid of it is to refinance and get rid of an FHA loan. But with
that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, is that what you've got as an FHA?
Yes.
Yeah, you're the only way you're getting rid of it, unless it's one. There's a few of the newfangled ones that you can do, and you can get rid of it. Again, it's more like the Fannie Mae. So you may want to check with your mortgage company and just start talking to them about it. Go, okay, under this particular loan, what have I got to do to get rid of MIP or PMI? And they'll tell you. What their guidelines are. And if it's like you're stuck with it forever, then the way you're going to get rid of it is to refinance it. And it's equal to about $75 a month per 100,000 borrowed. And so it's a lot of money monthly. It equals, a quarter to 0.5% of interest is what it amounts to. And so you're getting dinged for not having put down a good down payment is what it comes down to at the end of the day. That's why we always recommend, if there's any way possible, to put down 20%, simply because you avoid that.
I hate paying that PMI. I love not having any PMI, being able to. It's more money than I would think it was. Right? Yeah. What you said. I was thinking $50. No, it's a chunk of money.
It adds up. Yeah. It adds up to being a substantial amount. Phoenix is on the line. Kim's calling. Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'm so excited to talk to you guys. So my husband and I have been following your principles for many, many years. We are maybe a month or two away from being debt-free, so we're super excited about that. My niece has had some really rough times. Her mom died while she was young. My parents raised her. My mom died, so my husband and I adopted her. She just graduated college.
How old was she when you adopted her?
20.
20?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was an adult adoption.
I got you. Okay.
And, she didn't have health insurance and other things. So we wanted her to have access to our estate, so that's why we did the adult adoption.
Okay.
She graduated from college with only $6,000 in debt. Thank you. And I'm very proud of everything she's done, but she's struggling with anxiety and what to do next, how to find a job, how to even start the process. And my husband and I are professionals. We can advise her, but I'm struggling getting through. I don't know what else to do, what to say to her.
So when you say you're struggling to get through, describe that to me. What does that mean? You give her advice and she doesn't pay attention. You say, hey, let's go get coffee, and she sleeps in. What does that mean?
Normal teenager stuff. We give her advice. She asks our advice, which is wonderful. We give it, and she just doesn't seem to do anything.
She's 20 now, so she's out of normal teenager stuff.
She's 23 now.
Yeah, 23. So she's out of normal teenager stuff.
Yeah.
She's in full grown up, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So is she still living with you?
Yes.
So
she just graduated a week ago.
So what's her degree in?
Event management and tourism.
Ooh. That's a tough season to get it. So back
two booming industries in COVID.
Yeah. So
it's not in COVID, but here in Arizona, there's a million opportunities.
Yeah. So she's just choosing to not go work.
Yeah.
Why?
How come?
Well, the answer I get is I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I don't know if I'm going to do the right thing, am I going to say the wrong things, am I going to make a mistake? Everybody makes mistakes, I tell her. Everybody makes mistakes. If you don't like the first job you find, learn something from it and move on. Yeah. But I can't get her to just pull the trigger, and I'm so worried about her.
Yeah, so here's a heartbreaking situation that you're in. She's experienced loss like many people on earth will never experience, right? Her first caretaker passed away. Her second caretaker passed away. And then as an adult, you swooped in. And at some point, you're going to have to lovingly let her go. And this is going to be hard because you want to be that person that's always there for her. And what you're going to have to do is change your definition of what there for her means. And that does not mean you can just live at my house and do whatever you want. That means I'm going to put you on a plan and you're going to have to move out. And you're going to have to go get a job. And then we're going to have you over every Sunday for lunch. And I'm going to check in with you. But you're going to have to start learning to fly.
Yeah, she's scared. And she's got a lot of reasons to be scared. Right. But anytime you jump out of the nest and spread your wings, it's scary. For her, it's super scary, but she still has to jump out of the nest.
That's right. It doesn't mean you don't love her when she starts to fly.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Dayton is with us in Valparaiso, Indiana. Hi, Dayton. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, my grandma passed away a couple of years ago.
Wait a minute. I'm having trouble hearing you. You're muffled. Can you speak directly into your phone, please?
Yes. Is this better?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
My grandmother passed away a couple years ago, and bless her heart and her hard work, she left both her children and children's children an inheritance. So basically in the amount of $39,000. In her trust, we are allowed to receive half at age 25 and half at age 30. I turned 25 on Sunday and received my first half, but approached my mother, as she is the one handling the money, to potentially move the second half into a non-0% interest rate checking account, something other than that could possibly not have interest kick my butt over the next 5 years.
Is your mother the trustee?
Yes.
Okay.
She's allowed to move it to even a money market account. Obviously, that's kind of out of the question. And I just wanted some guidance on some good, healthy, maybe FDIC insured, accounts that could maybe help hedge against that inflation.
There's not any. Inflation has run an average of 4.2% for the last 78 years, and the interest rates on money markets and FDIC accounts are 1%, 1.5%. You're not going to hedge inflation with 1.5 versus 4. You would have to invest it greater than that to offset inflation. The good news is it's only for 5 more years.
Yes.
And it's only $18,000.
Yes.
Okay. And so if you make, 2% or 4% on $18,000, it does not change your life in 5 years. One way or the other here. So really, I mean, if you want to get real technical about it, what she should do, but it won't, is to put it in a good mutual fund. Something even like an index fund, and just let it sit there for 5 years. It'll do a whole lot better. But it's not FDIC insured. And she's probably freaking out and doesn't want to do anything. She's probably super uber conservative.
Mm-hmm.
It's humorous that $39,000, that small an amount, somebody bothered to set up a trust for it.
Yeah, well, she did.
Yeah, it's done though. But the lesson would be that's not worth screwing with.
Okay, so
you can't mess up your entire life with $39,000.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have $39,000 worth of regret would be the worst case scenario, but it's so. I mean, wow. But yeah, I would just ask Mom to put it in an S&P 500 index fund and look at the track record on that over the past 50 years, and I think she could be very comfortable with that. Or put it in a money market at 1%. You can get that at your local bank or credit union, and that would be FDIC or FSR or NCUA insured. You could get insurance on that, but you're not going to make one. You maybe one and some change or something, which is not. There's nothing life changing in these numbers.
And you're going to go talk to your mom, and she's probably going to say no. Let it go.
Forget it.
Don't lose your relationship with your mom and be dramatic and
over $500
over 5 years.
Yeah,
right.
It's just not enough money to. It's if it was $3.9 million, we can have some arguments about where this gets invested. Okay, because you're starting to lose substantial money at that point. And it's not that I'm a snob or something like that. I don't think it's just mathematically the difference buys a biscuit.
Right. And she's wrapped up into this. She's got different hooks in this money because it's her mom and all. Just talk to her.
A lot of emotion around this deal. I can tell because your grandmother put it there.
Yeah.
Before she passed. So. Yeah. All right. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Nick is with us. Nick is in Houston, Texas. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So we recently sold a house, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with the equity of that house. We have $60,000 from that house. I've been following you for the past 3 years. You've really changed our life. We just recently completed step number 3, so I have a good 6 months worth of income saved up, and now comes step number 4. I'm 33. I haven't contributed anything to my retirement. My wife works from home. My company's been putting in. They put in money even if we don't match anything.
And Nick, do you guys own a house?
We do. We own a house. Yes.
Okay, so this was a different property than you lived in.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. That was our first house. This is our second house.
Okay. Cool. Well, the baby steps tell you at baby step 4 to put 15% of your income into retirement. Have you heard that before?
I have. So my question is, I just started putting 6% into a Roth 401k.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to figure out that equity that we got from our first house, what to do with that $60,000.
You would put it on baby steps 5 and 6 because you're putting 15% of your income, not 6%, into retirement.
Okay.
You don't lump sum baby step. You don't lump sum baby step 4.
Okay, so I shouldn't take that $60,000 from the house and just put the remaining. Okay.
Nope. What's your household income?
It's $110.
Okay. All right. So you need $17,000 a year going into something between you and your wife, and she has a 401k available. You don't have a retirement plan available at work.
I do. I have a 401k available at work. It's just it's one of those funds that you pick a year you're going to retire and you contribute to that.
Target dates, yeah. Okay.
Do you still owe money on your mortgage?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have money on mortgage. We just got it.
You got children?
The other part of that, we do. Yeah, we have 3 children. I have a 13-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a newborn.
Wonderful. I would use some of this. I would sit down with your SmartVestor Pro. I would use some of your $60,000 towards setting up their colleges. You might do 10 each for fun.
My wife my wife's mother just passed away this past year, and left her some money. And that money's in a brokerage firm. It's an inherited IRA. It's somewhere around $130,000 to $140,000.
Mm-hmm. How much do you owe on your home?
We owe $240,000 was the loan.
You almost pay it off.
So, I guess my question is, because we have kids, shouldn't we take a portion of that and put it into 529s or something?
Yeah.
So at least
portion of the $60,000 from the house sale. Baby step 5 is kids' college. That's what I said. Just use some of it. Sit down with your SmartVestor Pro. Put 10 each aside, maybe in a 529 for each kid. That'll leave you. That puts 30 in there. As young as they are, that gets you a good start, and start doing some monthly on that in addition. And the SmartVestor Pro can help you calculate exactly how much you need to be doing to have a fully funded college fund for each kid based on their age, and then throw the rest of it at your mortgage. And when you get within reach of that inherited IRA and pay that mortgage off, I'd cash that IRA out, the inherited one, and pay that mortgage off. Now, I don't cash out normal IRAs or 401ks to do that at your age, but that inherited IRA has a 10-year rule on it anyway. You're required to pull a tenth of it out every year under the new law. And so as you pull it out, throw it at the mortgage. Throw it to pay taxes, throw it at the mortgage. And then back to your baby step 4, you need to get $17,000 a year, 15% of 110, going into some combination of you and your wife's. And you're still using pronouns as if you two aren't married. It's our money, our house, our retirement, and our kids.
And our inheritance.
And my wife inherited money, so we have an inherited IRA now. It's not like she gets to set that over there on the side, and that's not how this works.
Don't overcomplicate this, man.
Yeah, just make it real clean, real simple. It's one pool of money, one percentage for the whole house. And so if most of the retirement is in her name, it doesn't matter. You've got rights to it by marriage and by wills and everything else. So you need to always have a will, but let's get this smoothed out here, and the $60,000 gives you the opportunity to do it. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 13:20, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. John Maxwell says a man must be big enough to admit his mistakes, smart enough to profit from them, and strong enough to correct them. There you go. Open phones this hour. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Carlos is in San Jose, California. Hi, Carlos. How are you?
Good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hi. I just want some clarification. I've been listening to you for about past couple months now, and I've made some mistakes in my life, so I just want to do it right this time. So my wife and I'm 31, my wife is 33, and we have a 16-month-old baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We just received our federal tax today after 8 weeks of waiting, and I'm in a unique situation. I can actually pay off my car today. We owe about $28,000. I made a mistake of getting a fleece, and then I heard you. It was like me. I thought me and Acura were best friends, but I guess not. So right now, I currently hold about $32,000 in our savings account, $12,000 in our checking, and another $4,000 in a separate checkings account. So I just want to make sure I'm just doing this right. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, pay off this car today and start saving up for a house.
Why wouldn't you?
I live in the Bay Area. It's a little expensive. So I just want to make sure I'm just doing the steps correctly.
Yeah. What's your household income?
So my wife makes about $50,000 a year, and I just started a part-time job. I take care of my daughter during the day. So it only make $18.50 per hour. So I know I need to bring my income up, especially living here in the Bay Area. But we're working towards that. So I just wanted.
So
I just want to know if I.
So what's the car? What does it take to pay the car off?
Today will be about $28,311.
$28,000.
Yes, sir.
And your household income is $50,000.
Yes, sir, right now.
Yeah, unless your household income is going to go up, probably ought to sell the car. Is your household income going to go up? The answer is yes. The correct answer is yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so pay the car off today. You're right. Okay. You knew what to do. But, here's the thing. You live in one of the 4 most expensive areas in America to live?
Yes, sir.
And you make a below average income for America, household income, in the most expensive area. So the mathematics of that statement are very strenuous on your household.
Yeah.
What does your wife do, man?
She works at the clinic. She's a front desk. She makes so.
Okay, so you guys are going to have to get careers going that match the expensive area that you live in, or you need to consider relocating.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's okay to make 50. There's no shame in making 50, but when you make 50 and housing and other living expenses in the Bay Area, in the San Jose market, I mean, freaking Silicon Valley. I mean, this is unbelievably expensive. Manhattan, L.A., San Fran downtown, and Silicon Valley. I mean, these are unbelievably expensive areas, and so. You can do it, but most people that are doing it on double or triple what you guys are making.
Of course.
And so I'm just, and the car doesn't fit in this equation. So I think the car, yes, I'd pay your car off. You can always sell it later if you want to. So there's no harm in paying it off today. But don't be sitting in this exact spot income wise, and be still sitting here wondering why you have no money 3 years from now, and because I've already just told you why you'll have no money.
I want y'all to have a great conversation about, is living in this cool place with nothing worth it? Yeah. Or do we move to Kansas and make the same amount of money? It goes a lot further. We don't have the Bayside, but we've got life. We can breathe. We can go have some good times and fill in the blank, right? Whatever that looks like. But I want y'all to have a dreaming conversation about where else could you go,
or even if you love that particular area, but you just move 100 miles from there and have a very similar climate and so forth, but a completely different set of economics, because it's just prohibitive to think about buying a home in where you are with that kind of income.
Right.
You don't get a pass on math because you live in California. It's still there. So that's what it comes down to. Aaron's with us in New York City. Speaking of expensive, hi, Aaron. How are you?
Good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
All right. I'll try and keep it simple and sweet to the point. I'm 22 years old. Ever since I graduated high school, I've worked in a very specific field of heavy construction, and I make about $100,000 to $150,000 a year. And this year, with all the overtime so far, I'm actually already at about 110. So I'm on track for about 200 to 240 this year. I'm very, very lucky.
What do you do?
I almost don't want to say it so other people don't jump in the career field. No, very specific, specialized sort of welding that we do out here.
That is wonderful. I'm so proud of you.
It's awesome.
That is amazing. My friend Mike Rowe thinks you're absolutely a stud, and I agree with him.
Thank you very much. I'm actually in the city right now, just working day and night, so in between shifts right now. But
I bet.
So my question was, I still live at home. I have about $80,000 in the bank. I have about $90,000 in an annuity through work, and about another $25,000 in a traditional IRA that I set up last year. Or no, not last year.
I love you.
And I was just wondering what the next move is. I love that I'm in the position I'm in, but it's also a lot. I don't really have anyone similar to my age to talk to about it.
Yeah, you don't have many people anywhere to talk to. Good for you, man.
Yeah, because you have more common sense than the average 8 Americans put together. You're amazing.
Good for you, man.
Man, you're a stud. All right, so in the multitude of counsel, there's wisdom, the Bible says. And so you're making enough money and you're doing very well that you need to start putting some experts in your life that have the heart of a teacher. So get online and get a SmartVestor Pro and go meet with them and begin to map out what some of your goals are for your investing. You can get online and even start talking about having a will. Everyone should have one, regardless of their age, if they're 18 years old or older. And that's an expert. You start to put the financial people in your life that will advise you because they do know people like you. They do know people that have more money than you and less money than you, and they can teach you and say, well, here's what one of my clients did, and here's an idea for you to think about, and they can teach you. You don't do it because they said to. You do it because you learn from them, okay? If I were in your shoes, I would put a date certain on the calendar that I'm moving out.
Okay.
And that can be to a rental. It's okay. I didn't give you the date, but it doesn't need to be 4 years. It'll be good for you as a young man emotionally that's making all this money to not be living in his mommy's basement.
Right. Okay.
It's not like you're a bad guy. It's not like you're weak or something like that. But I don't want this to have no end date. If it's got an end date, then everybody in your house around you, your family, everybody starts to plan emotionally for the day that Aaron packs up his box of soccer trophies and goes on his way.
And Aaron, did you grow up in this area?
I actually live an hour from where I work. I actually live in New Jersey.
Okay. You can live in the same neighborhood. Then I don't care where you live, but I'm just saying, get on your own, pay your own light bill, buy your own food, buy your own coffee. Make that kind of stuff. Lock the door when you leave. All the things that adults do. And that's going to be good for you later on. Now, you don't have to do it. You can do it in a year. You can do it in 18 months. You can do it in 5 months. I did not give you the date certain. It doesn't need to be 4 years. I didn't say that.
And I want you to start grabbing a couple of friends that are different than you've hung out with your whole life.
Yeah.
And guys are going to be able to walk with you and teach with you in this new place. You've leveled up financially.
Wow.
And you're going to need some new eyes and new ears around you.
And we're here, man. You call us anytime. We're impressed with you. You're a stud. Dr. John Deloney, good show. Good show. James Childs and Kelly Daniels in the booth. I'm Dave Ramsey. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.